keep it 1 for 100. My man keep it 1 for 100. My ladies keep it 1 for 100. My peoples keep it 1 for 100.
100.
Welcome to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Sunday, the week before State Championship Week. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I know we missed last week, but we back on schedule this week. I was out there in Mexico working on my tan, came back and ate me a little turkey.
Wait, time out. What?
I was in Mexico working on my tan.
That been worked on.
I know, but get a bit of, a little salsa.
Gotcha.
Salt water on me. What's up, Big E?
Oh, nothing much. Just enjoying this week off of school and, right back to it Monday, getting ready for finals and stuff. So
that's it. You're getting closer, getting out of school.
Yep.
Get in the real world.
Couldn't come soon enough.
Not working 9 to 5. Remember that Dolly Parton movie? There you go. What's up, Jonah?
Chilling.
We back. I see on the board it says play on state bound. These are the teams that will be playing for the gold ball. As we got the same two teams on the table that's been here since week 1? 0 week?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And these guys are both coming in this Saturday. 13-0?
Yep.
13-0.
13-0. But before we get talk about them, we'll have Chris Evans join us, the beat writer from Guthrie. Like to have him on, man, have him pick some of the final games for us and keep it moving. But before we get in there, we're going to recap a little college football. Well, we'll let Big E start that off. What's up, Big E? Get it going.
Yeah. Friday, Black Friday, you had OU putting up almost 70 points on TCU. They allowed 45 though. So defense, Brent Venables called an abomination.
Defense went to sleep second half.
Yeah. So they ended up getting the win, but it definitely wasn't pretty, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Last game of the Big 12 for OU.
Yes. Coming up short of the Big 12. OSU's all happy. I thought BYU was going to be the spoiler, but I was talking a little noise to Andre and to Coach
quick.
Jones. It's all right. It's good that OU's not going because they probably wouldn't beat Texas. I always think it's hard to beat Texas.
So. I don't think they would.
No, they wouldn't beat Texas. Texas.
No.
Yeah, Texas.
They're legit.
Yeah, they're the real deal, and OSU see it. Ali, man, they
5 touchdowns.
5 touchdowns,
Not next week.
You think he'll get a chance to get invited to the Heisman?
Nah. I don't know. I don't know who the 3 are going to be. I know the LSU quarterback's going to be there.
Penix, LSU's QB, and Oregon.
LSU's QB will probably win it.
Nah, I'll be Penix.
No.
It depends on who wins. If Penix is going for the national championship.
Penix or what's his name?
I think Bo Nix should be in there.
Right, Bo Nix, Penix, and LSU's quarterback.
Yeah.
But I think you take one of those losses away from OU. I think Dylan Gabriel gets an invite.
He might still. They may take 4.
But his passes look like punts.
He didn't have the arm.
That's
why they don't go deep.
Well, last night.
But you look at the stats, and he had his Heisman moment against Texas and everything. So all the criteria is there for him to be there, I think. But I don't know if he'll get an invite just because they're not playing in their conference championship. But with that being said, LSU's not either, and I think their quarterback's a lock to be there in New York.
Well, you talk about OU and what they're doing, but last night I think Jonah sent the text about Lovey might take that Mississippi State job. What do you guys think?
From everything that I've seen, it looks like it's already done.
Right.
So
Oregon State's going to.
Where did he say
he's going to Michigan State?
Michigan State. That's right. I don't know why you would leave Oregon State for Michigan State.
Stoops
I know
leave Kentucky or he stayed.
No, he stayed. It was so. It got leaked that he had already accepted the job, and then
to where?
To Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
The Kentucky coach Stoops.
Okay.
So it got leaked out, and then the fans started going crazy, like not in a good way. Like they were like, "What? Like why are we hiring him?" Da 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 da. I guess they backed out. A&M was like, "Oh, never mind. Let's not do this."
We don't want another Jimbo, huh?
So yeah.
Well,
but
I it's funny because you talk about Levy, you got Sperry over there at Carl Albert.
His dad said he's staying.
He did say he's staying.
Oh, not about. I'm talking about I don't care
Arnold.
about Sperry. Arnold's thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Arnold's the next man up.
Right.
But I did have to take a shot at Coach Jones because he was giving me a little hard time about
What?
OSU game.
By the OSU game. So I told him next week when he plays Carl Albert, he'll be going against Sperry
Wow.
and Lubby because Lubby's going to take
Well,
his
he'll
corner.
have a bunch of those OU guys going.
Oh, they go. Yeah, well, I'm just saying, I think you think Sperry will follow Lubby though.
That's
$1 million question,
I
huh?
don't see. Well, I don't see why his family would move him to Oklahoma to go somewhere else.
But he's here because of
Lubby.
Lubby.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I think
And then he can just start right away.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's a great question, John. That's what I had next because Mississippi.
Well, I mean, he's just he's got another year of high school.
yeah,
But Mississippi don't have anybody.
yeah,
They got Will Rogers. They can get him
Will
to come
Rogers
back.
in portal.
They can. I mean, just because he's in there. I
thought
mean,
Will
you
Rogers
hire.
at Texas A&M.
No, he's at Mississippi State. Will
What grade is
Levy?
Will-
They
okay.
hire Levy. Levy can get in his ear and get him to come back. I mean, you
What
see what
grade
my
is
boy
Will-
Dylan
What
did.
grade is Will Rogers in though?
I thought he's in the portal. I saw that.
He's intent. He announced
See
that
where
his
he is. I
intention.
thought- wasn't he at Texas A&M?
No, he's at Mississippi State.
What grade is he
They're
in?
the same
though?
color. I don't know.
They do have similar looking jerseys. Mississippi State intends to enter transfer portal, so he
Right.
hasn't yet because
So
the
he may
transfer
stay
portal
now
window
because
hasn't
of-
officially opened yet.
Right.
So
he
Yeah,
may
they can't.
stay.
It's just open to the bowl season's over, right?
right.
What about the guy from OU, number 9? He said he's leaving.
Yeah, I mean,
Nah, he's
I
not
expected
He should
that.
have left last year.
Yeah, I expected that.
Is
to
he not
happen.
getting no game?
No, he was
No.
a corner and went to receiver.
Yeah, he was a corner. He was a
His highlight
receiver,
was
but
that
got recruited to
Nebraska-
play corner
All right.
by Lincoln's staff, and then
moved him over
then
to
they moved him to wide receiver, and then
No,
he
he
just
moved
never got any.
himself over to wide receiver.
That's right. But he never got any playing time at wide receiver.
Abilene Christian will take him in a minute.
He might go to USC.
Yeah, I could. I mean,
Yeah, he go up there with Lincoln.
yeah,
He needs all
could.
the help he can.
Yeah,
Right.
but to talk more on the Levy situation and how that affects recruiting,
Yes, sir.
I
Talk
think
to us.
I think there's really only two guys to worry about in the 2024 class that you could lose, and that's Michael Hawkins and Devon Mitchell.
Are they both quarterbacks?
No, Devon Mitchell's the tight end, which everybody's saying if Levy leaves, he's going to take Joe John with him to be his offensive coordinator. So and
Joe John
Joe
Finley.
John, yeah, Joe John Finley, the tight ends coach.
Philly.
But anyways, I think those are the only two names that I'd be worried about losing. But I
But I
think
thought they said
if you
he's-
can convince Hawkins to stay, Devon Mitchell's going to go wherever Hawkins goes because they're
Well, I'm pretty
they're
sure.
tight,
I'm
so.
pretty sure Venom was gonna go get a big time offensive coordinator.
Who's out there though?
I'm seeing
I mean,
that they're just going to elevate
They're
Seth
just gonna
Latrell.
put Seth Latrell.
Yeah,
An offensive coordinator?
yeah,
I mean, he got coaching experience. He's at North Texas.
Right.
yeah.
I mean, he's a wrestler, so he thinks hard and smart. So, I don't know. I would try to go get old boy that was at the Cardinals.
Who?
He's over at USC right now.
USC, right?
I mean,
Talking about
I can't
Cardinals.
old coach. Coach Kyler used to be at Texas Tech.
Used to be at Texas Tech.
Oh, Kingsbury.
Kingsbury.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? I mean, you need a young mind, man.
I mean,
Do you
yeah, I think that
Do
would
you
be.
think that
that'd be
Levy
good.
will have his father-in-law be offensive coordinator?
I think
Hell
I
no.
think he might get his brother-in-law.
Why
from,
not?
I think he might get his brother-in-law from
He-
Baylor though, or from
the
TCU.
stuff he would catch for
Who cares?
giving him a
You
coaching
win. That's
job.
He's in the SEC though.
You win. That goes away in week 5.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
I mean, the Mississippi State fans won't care, but everybody else will.
Who cares?
Who cares?
I'm 5-0.
All right.
Well, he might go get his brother-in-law that's over at Texas at TCU.
Yeah, he could go do that.
Yeah.
But
Is that the dude who wears the tape on his fingers?
I don't know
Goddamn.
about that, but I don't know if they'll bring what's called. I was gonna say little USC's quarterback's little brother. He's an offensive coordinator, quarterback coach in one of the Big 12 schools. I mean, I just think you got to go get a young.
Houston just fired Dana Holgerson. I mean, they
Did they?
Yeah, they might try to bring. I doubt it. I don't want to see Dana in OU, but
Are you serious? They fired him.
yeah, Houston fired him.
So what happens to like the kid like from Westmore? Does he get to keep his scholarship?
I mean, just depends if
don't
the
know.
new coach wants
See,
it.
that's the tough thing about it though,
Yeah.
man. I mean,
It's rough business out there.
Right. So on the verse of that, when a kid gets his money, leave him alone. Or if he wants to leave him alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
man, I can't.
But-
So who you think they'll go after though? Houston, man. I think you give him one more year. He'd been
Probably like I don't know. Probably one of those smaller Texas schools that are good, that have been doing good. You give them a job.
fine. Yeah.
I don't know what like
I'd go after,
UTSA's coach or something like that. You could probably try to get him, or maybe you can get. Nah, they wouldn't do that.
If I'm OU, I'm going to get that offensive coordinator out of Carolina. NFL. LSU's old coordinator.
Oh, I
Just
know
give
who
him
you're
a
talking about.
bag.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was good. Oh, I forget his name, man. I know who you're talking about though.
Right.
He was with LSU,
LSU
when they won the
won,
national
yeah.
championship,
That's
and
who you
then
go
went with Rule to
give him whatever you want, whatever he asked for.
I mean, I don't know about Seth Luttrell being an offensive coordinator. I don't think that's. I
don't know
hire.
about if you're not a quarterback. I don't think you should be. I mean, I don't
he
know.
played on
Seth-
offensive ball.
I get that,
a,
but he's a fullback. He's a meathead, just like Levy's a meathead. He doesn't. I mean, they may know X's and O's, but they don't know X's and O's.
yeah, I mean,
Like you can tell, Levy does not know situational football. The plays that he's called, like you're on first down, you're on the 20, you run a.
I mean, really, after what you saw in the TCU game, I don't know why you didn't
Exactly.
Good things happen when you put the ball in the air.
Right.
To throwing it deep to your best guys. I mean, you got Jaden Gibson, and then you have Nick Anderson. They're both at 6'4" tall plus. You just throw it up there, they're gonna come down with it 95% of the time.
Track guy from Texas. I mean,
yeah.
The DB was nowhere near him.
What about the Michigan guy that was at Michigan, the receiver that hurt his leg? Would he be back or is he?
Yeah, I think he doesn't really take anybody. The only one you got to worry about.
No. I'm just saying. I mean, since he got hurt, does he get to come back for another year?
Yeah, he had another year anyway.
Okay. So I don't think. I mean, I don't think they're being bad shape. Losing Levy's not going to kill him. I mean, he was okay.
I mean, you don't know.
I liked his scheme, and I liked the quarterbacks that he was able to.
I didn't
recruit.
like it. It's too.
I just didn't like. I didn't like his play calling.
I think
his
you'll get any quarterback
when
you
it got
want.
down to it, close game, one possession games, his play calling was just why are we running the ball on 3rd and 9?
It's gimmicky.
You know,
Like
it's I don't know.
It's like the offense you would run like at Baylor or Texas,
Yeah.
like
That's why
gimmicky where you don't have
That's
the
why
athletes.
Did Baylor
Right.
win last night?
No,
They did.
Like
so
OU has the athletes.
So
You don't
they
need
finished
to-
up 3 and what?
something like that. They said that they're bringing back Aranda too, so they're gonna give him
That
another
coach?
year. Yeah.
He has no personality.
I know. He's
Stone
just
cold.
Stone cold. He's defensive coordinator.
never has any emotion.
No,
but-
not at all. I sucks for Houston though. I did like Dana. He should have stayed at West Virginia. You know, he had
I can see them.
I don't know,
going.
West
He coached at
Virginia's doing
Oklahoma
good.
before.
Huh? No, I'm saying he should have stayed at West Virginia. He goes to Houston, and then he's gone. I mean, but he'll land a job.
He got
offensive
fired.
coordinator.
Did he not get fired from West
I think
Virginia?
he got fired at West Virginia.
Yeah,
too.
he got fired.
Oh, he did. Oh,
Yeah.
well, poor guy. He's
You better
over
go
two.
to Saban.
He should just go be an offensive coordinator for somebody like I said. OSU probably should. I mean, OU should look at him. I mean, he does have a good scheme.
I know a couple high schools that could use him.
Yeah.
Which one?
You know,
I didn't-
we're in their backyard right now.
Oh, they got it at
But
well,
punt on the 30-yard line.
well, guys, like I said, you know, anybody else want to talk about college before we bring our guest on?
yeah, I mean, it should be interesting. I mean,
What do you think the OSU Texas?
Texas going to be about like
Possible
20.
Yeah, probably more than that.
Yeah.
OSU just gets lucky. I mean, they should have got beat.
You know, this is the whole thing about OSU, man. I mean, they want to talk noise and all that.
Unless the
Get
refs-
fans in the stands before you talk.
I
That
mean, it
whole
was
student
cold,
section
man.
was gone. I mean, I get it was
cold
Thanksgiving
out there.
break. People were back at home doing
I ain't
whatever.
sitting out
But
there for that game.
I like BYU though. I like their coach, man.
They just can't finish.
They just can't finish the game, man. The quarterback.
I think
is that the
BYU
same quarterback that played in the OU game?
Yeah.
yeah.
He
I think
missed a lot of throws. Though.
BYU, I
It's
think they'll be
cold.
good. I mean, you got to think this is their first time in a conference. They've been a independent.
Independent.
Right.
So, I mean, I think being in a conference is going to help them out a lot as far as like recruiting and like the money and everything like that. So, BYU, I can honestly see them being a team that could rise to the top with OU and Texas leaving the conference.
I get them at third. I mean, I get
Third,
Utah.
I'm not saying they'll go out there and start winning it, but they'll be competitive.
Reps are
and-
saying I got
really-
Utah, Colorado, and then BYU.
Well,
yeah.
Colorado lose again last night.
Arizona looks good. They're coming to the Big 12 too. So,
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm telling you, that Big 12 gonna be tough.
No.
did you see they broke down like the money? So with losing
Oh,
OU and Texas
right, I
and
saw
still
that.
adding 8 new teams, they're still losing $800 million.
$800 million, right?
That's how,
I was like,
you said who's bringing the
that's
money
crazy.
in, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
That's why they're mad.
that's why they're mad. That's why. Okay, and this.
That's
people-
why
I'm
OSU
gonna catch flack for this. I don't care. I hope Texas wins this. I'm
rather
gonna
have
be
Texas
rooting on the
win.
Texas.
I'd rather have Texas win over you.
Yeah, I was like, I
I
want
watch
Texas to
all
win this Big
Texas.
12.
Every game I watch.
No, I like Texas. I'm a fan of their coach, man. I mean,
You like Sark?
yeah,
Yeah, I
Sark
like
cool, man. You know, Sark he like chocolate milk.
Sark after dark.
Sark after dark.
That's what they say.
Hey,
you know,
hey.
Sark after dark.
Hey, I mean, he kind of got that slick hair. You don't mess with nobody with slick hair.
God damn it.
See him yell at that. This was last year in their bowl game. He started cussing at the security guard that touched him. He's like, "Get
touched
your
him.
hands off me!"
Hey, I'm telling
Trying
you,
to
you
be
know, Mr.
tough. I don't
Sark, he
know.
might be from Jersey.
I think
He's a Jersey.
I think he's corny, but he's a good coach though.
Nah, he's good. He's a good deal. But we'll move on, man. Like to give a shout out to Gabe Johnson. He took fourth at the Lindenwood tournament. Wrestled against a lot of D1 kids. Lost his quarterfinals to a kid out of Missouri. Got beat 13-3. Came back, wrestled through, made it to the third and fourth match. Lost to Oklahoma State's starting at 157-pounder. Lost him in overtime. So big shout out to him. Like I told her, it doesn't matter what you're doing in November. It matters what you're doing in February and March. So shout out to him.
Is that his worst defeat, 13-3?
Yeah, he got smacked a little bit.
Tossed around.
Yeah, he got tossed around. Hey, I like
it. Is that
it.
before or after Thanksgiving?
Oh, that was before Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
We talking about all that food
Oh,
he was eating.
he ate a lot.
He said, "Hey, Gabe said I'm going to eat."
I'm about to eat.
Jonah, hit your button.
Whoop, oh, my mic.
Yeah, another big shout out to my baby girl Zoe. She went down to Dallas last week and participated in the Chris Paul tournament.
He wasn't there.
I wasn't there. I was in Mexico.
Not you, Chris.
Oh no, but I mean it's all right. It's a good tournament. I mean, good camp though. I mean, probably
Resume.
How are you gonna put on a camp and not be there for it?
That's how you do it. He had a game.
At the game, hit your mic. But like I said, I want to give a shout out to her making an all-star team. Finished out of the top. 50, 70 girls.
75, man. Get it
75
right.
girls. She made the top 20. Got a chance to start on the team.
That's good stuff.
Has a couple buckets, played some good defense, rebounds. But big shout out to her, man, going out on her first big time camp and making it. A lot of good girls from a lot of different AAU teams, and she's part of it. Like I said, went out there and did her thing. So big shout out to her, man. And, it's always good when your kids can do big things. But going into moving forward. We're finishing out high school football. We'll be getting into basketball and wrestling next week. I think we'll have a special guest on Mustangs women coach Smith. She used to be coach at the Bombers, helped them win the state championship years ago.
In basketball?
In basketball. So we'll have her on and start talking these women's basketball guys, men's basketball. But I really want to try to push a little bit more women's basketball. I just think girls basketball is
about to take off.
It's about to take off. It's big time, with the WNBA. You see the young lady from LSU. You get all that money, then, that money goes to your head. You know what I'm saying? And so, you got to get yourself back together, folks. Kids, I mean, it's all about, hey, everybody want a little bit of money in their pocket, but it's also about, make sure you're hitting them grades, make sure you're taking care of business, because that money only lasts for so long, and then, what happens, they start pulling these deals, then you ain't got no money. So make sure you're taking care of business in the classroom and on the court, and then stack that money and put it back. Just don't be buying everything. So big shout out to, like I said, Gabe and Zoe for doing their thing. Guys, like I said, y'all ready to bring Chris on?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll be right back. What?
After one of our sponsors.
Keep it in 100 Oklahoma high school sports.
With 25 years experience in the industry, Linex Customs OKC is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle accessory needs. Specializing in spray-in liners, lifts, levels, wheels, tires, bed covers, and anything else you need to make your ride look and sound better. Call Eric and the boys at 405-778-8878.
Welcome back to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Sunday afternoon as we get ready for the big-time high school playoffs and all the classes from 6A all the way to 3A, because 2A is still playing because they got that 64-man bracket. But we got Mr. Chris Evans on from the beat writer from Guthrie that does a good job with the Guthrie Blue Jays and just still a good job overall talking high school sports. So I figured, hey, man, if we're going to get into the playoffs and to the championship, might as well have the best man on that can help us finish this off. What's up, Chris? How you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing? Looks like the Mid-Dell will have a gold ball no matter how it falls on Saturday.
Yes, sir, they will, man. It's both teams. We've had this helmet their helmets on the table since week 0. It's kind of hard. I think it's the first time Mid-Dell's had a state championship. Two Mid-Dell teams playing against each other. I know back when I played and my brother played and, Ethan with the Choctaw, we never played Colorado. They might have played Colorado one time regular season, but never got a chance to play for a state championship against each other. I think it's going to be pretty cool to see that, to have the Eagles. And the thing about both of these guys, Robert and Mike Dunn, they know each other real well. They coach with each other in Texas. They've been roommates. So, man, and, if Robert turns left, Dunn knows to turn left too. So it's going to be really exciting. But before we get into them, let's talk about this big 6A, though. You got Jinx coming back with a historical win over Union. Union gets their quarterback back, and I really thought you're going to have that Union Bigsby matchup, but we just can't get it.
Yeah, that's the second year in a row we thought we were going to get Union and Bixby. Last year, Owasso surprised Union. And then this year, Union. Of course, we looking for maybe that Union Bixby matchup because we think maybe that's the one team that can maybe play Bixby close. But Jinx got in the way again this year. Jinx, no matter they always play that tough schedule, but they might lose 2 or 3, 4 games throughout the regular season. But when it comes to the playoff time, it is hard to pick against Jinx, and it's another rematch of Week 10 between Bixby and Jinx, and Jinx with the regular season victory over Union, and then do it again. And Union jumped out to that 21-0 lead. You're like, okay, here we go. We're going to have that Bixby Union showdown, and we're going to see what it looks like. But then they come back, and the lights go off, and the lights come back on. And I tell you, we went to the Stillwater Choctaw game, so we're watching all the games on the computer. And KD, man, he was big time. 27-yard touchdown with 35 seconds left, 141 rushing. He's big time, man.
I mean, he's kind of like his dad, though. His dad did the same thing, years ago. But, I mean, his dad calls him Batman, and he showed up like Batman. I guess when the lights went out, he decided to put on the bat cape and get busy with it. So I know his dad's over there, he's probably on Twitter saying something to somebody, but that's what Keywan does. But I just tell you, man, his boy's just a sophomore, leaving Broken Arrow and coming over to Jinx. And I tell you right now, Jinx got to be excited about having him because he's kind of put him on his back, and even when the first time they met, Jinx jumped out to a lead over Bigsby, and you really thought you might get that upset. But I always feel like it's hard to beat a team twice. I'm gonna pick Jinx, and I know Coach Cole and some of the guys are gonna be like, "What the hell are you talking about, Tony?" But I'm gonna pick Jinx to knock off Bigsby 28-21. I just think KD is hot right now, and I think it's hard to beat a team twice. And what do you guys think over here, Jonah?
Bixby. I don't need to say anything else. Bixby.
What do you think, Ethan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep picking Bixby until somebody proves to me that they can. Which I mean, Jinx beat them last year in the regular season, but I don't know Bixby in the playoffs.
I mean, Jinx has
animal.
the better chance because that's their system.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a little sister. But I've seen Bixby live 3 times this year, and I watched film, broke it down, and I had to rewind 10 times on one play, let alone to see it live in 4 seconds. So, Bixby.
What do you think, Chris?
And it's going to be a good one. Bixby, by the way, playing in their 10th straight state championship. That's just unbelievable. And they're doing it against the big boys now. They're trying to go back-to-back in 6A one. But, Bixby has so many different weapons, and they don't have to be – and Lauren Montgomery's proven they don't have to be superstars. They can be just great high school football players, and they got a bunch of that at every single position. And then you get the X's and O's. When you get to the level, they're all good. But it just seems like Lauren Montgomery has that edge. With the X's and O's, of course, his coaching staff has been together for a long, long time. In this one, I got to go with Bixby.
Okay, I guess I'm the only one going with Jinx, but hey, that's all right.
And that's okay.
If Jinx win, I can throw egg at all 3 of you guys, so that's
Absolutely.
all right. So let's move on to 6A2. It's those games, man. 2 great high school games. You had Choctaw versus Stillwater. Stillwater jumped out to an early lead, went up 14-0. Then Choctaw had a couple bags of tricks that Coach Corbin keeps in his back pocket. Then the next thing you know, Choctaw's up 29-14. I don't know what happened after that. I turned the game off because I was like, Choctaw's gonna find a way to get back there. I wasn't cheering for Choctaw. Keep it 100. I was cheering for Stillwater. But I'm thinking, man, Choctaw's gonna find a way to get there. He's done it the last 4 or 5 years. Find a way to get in the championship. But then I guess all the wheels fell off on
he doesn't punt.
I guess all the wheels fell off on the bus. Somebody said he did an onside kick. I talked to another parent. He said the kid missed the kick. So you was at the game. What does it look like to you?
I was surprised, stunned. I don't know if it was onside or not, but it kind of came out of nowhere. And then Stillwater takes advantage by go down and scoring as well. But you look at 6A2. It was over the last couple of years, it was always that game that you always in the championship. You're like, man, this is going to be the best game of all of them. But this year, it was always the top 4, Stillwater, Choctaw, Deer Creek, Muskogee, and it was just ho-hum until they played each other. And I think if you take Deer Creek and Choctaw play this week and they play the winner of next week's game, it could be the other way around. These 4 teams are so similar to each other, and watching the game at Choctaw or at Edmond North and then watching the game on Muskogee, it came down to the final plays and almost at the exact same time as well. But, Holden Thompson was big time, 33 rushes, 146 yards for the Stillwater Pioneers. And I thought the game was over. I thought Choctaw was going to cruise after they got up to that 14, up to that Stillwater. Choctaw scored those 29 unanswered points. Juju Smith, I mean, he's so good, so quick.
Yeah.
And he was fun to watch in person.
You know, I was watching the game. I was watching the second half of just the live stream, and you know, they kind of went got away from what was working, and you know, I think you run those 3 plays with no timeouts when you're in the red zone, and you know, you run the ball, you can't stop the clock. You weren't able to get out of bounds. I don't know why you don't throw a quick little screen pass, see if it goes for long. If not, you step out of bounds and you give yourself another chance. But you know, being a Choctaw alumnus, I was pretty upset with the outcome. But.
Well, I thought that in the press box on that last play when they were trying to get up, I think that not the last play, but the play before, maybe spike the ball to stop the clock. I'm not sure the timeout situation, but get up there and spike the ball. That way, you kind of stop the clock and kind of get something established there. I think they could have done that as well, but it was a fun game to be to, and Coach Kaywood now going for back-to-back state titles over in Stillwater. Should be a good one. Muskogee, junior quarterback Jamar Ficklin, another big-time game. Beat Deer Creek. I thought Deer Creek had a chance at the beginning of the year to win it all just because of the great quarterback play there, but Muskogee's got a great quarterback as well, 250 yards and 175 on the ground. He will be hard to stop in the finals.
Yeah, I look at that Choctaw game, and you kind of look at some of the numbers they've had in years past, losing some close balls games, usually not using the timeout when they need a timeout.
But it's like it's all been the same though. Yeah, like every year he hasn't learned. Is that what
they used the timeouts. They were.
Well, that's what I was saying. I mean, this time I think he used the timeouts too quick. One of the questions I'm going to ask, and you got Cash Williams over there, a big kid. 6-foot kid, probably 195, 200, that can run the ball real well. Why would you not have him in the game and then maybe try to run a quarterback, whatever they run, the wildcat quarterback draw, but then give him the option to pass or throw. Then you got big Will Smith, big kid that plays tight end, defensive end. Why not use him? They didn't use him at all throwing the ball to. So I always felt like Choctaw struggled this year throwing the ball down the field. In the years past, they could throw the ball down the field, and everything's go to Juju. And I mean,
they're missing Steele right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, Cash had a good game too. You can't take that from Cash, but everything goes to Juju. And don't get me wrong, the kid's a great athlete, but just when you're tiny like that and he's quick,
well,
but
not even that, Juju can't throw or even try to throw with him.
Yeah,
like it's like you're limited. So if I see Juju at quarterback,
it's gonna be a run.
That's what the difference is between Carl Lauber. Because Carl Lauber probably would have done a little pop pass or something.
And that's what they did the other night against Bishop McGinnis. Right. But so you look at Stillwater and Muskogee, they rematch each other. I said, I'm a still firm believer. It's hard to beat a team twice. I think Muskogee gets the win over Stillwater this time. I think last game, Muskogee kind of got hit in the mouth real quick. They've been beat twice this year by Carl Lauber in Stillwater, but I just think Stillwater. I think if Muskogee comes and play a great game, they'll beat Stillwater. How do you guys feel?
I think I'm with you, Tony. I think if Muskogee's able to stop the run, keep Holden Thompson out of the game, and somewhat, I think they have a chance to win the game just because the offense. I mean, they can go and score with Jamarian Ficklin and their wide receiver. I can't think of his name right now, but they have a pretty electric offense with a few good athletes, and like you said, it's hard to beat a team twice, so I think I like Muskogee in a close game.
Unless you're just better than that team.
Chris, what do you think?
It's going to be a good one. Stillwater won this game earlier this year, 30-20, and it is hard to beat a team twice in one season. But I think Stillwater being there last year, that I think Holden Thompson is really, really good. They also got a Talon Kendrick that's really good offensively, defensively. I like Coach Kaywood in his first full season as the head coach. I think the Pioneers can get it done for the second year in a row.
Okay. I like it. So here we go. We got 2 Stillwater.
I said Stillwater.
Stillwater. So we got, 2 and 2. Okay.
Because you got to throw in the run game and then that quarterback. The quarterback to me is a wash. I don't know what Muskogee has as a running back. You got your quarterback throwing and running. He's basically playing two athletes.
I tell you that Stillwater running back, he runs tough.
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying he runs tough. And that offensive line is physical, man.
You can do a lot with that.
Stillwater's always had a good
Stillwater
line.
ran the same play like 5 times on Choctaw.
Yeah,
on the
kept
same
running outside
side. Yeah.
run, and it was like,
and they never
we couldn't
stopped
stop
it though. So I was like,
Right.
man, can you not adjust? But the thing about Choctaw, they get a lot of move-ins and get kids to leave other schools to come over there, and it seems like they just cannot win that big one, And I just tell
But
them,
it's not the players, it's the coaching. He doesn't do what he needs. You can't go for it 4th and 2 on their 30 and give him a short side of the field. He's too cocky. He needs to humble himself and punt the ball and call timeouts. When he call timeout, he's hindering his players.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the decisions that he makes. Punt the damn ball. It's not that damn hard. He's done it for 4 years in a row. He hasn't learned. I've been sitting here for every year, the same year, said the same thing. Punt the ball, call your timeouts.
I don't know. Maybe you should go to a clinic with him. This
He's
upcoming
never going to
season.
win unless he plays high IQ football.
Yep. So we're gonna move on to Class 5A.
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is, man.
I'm excited for this one. This was the one that we've been talking about since the season started, knowing that these two teams weren't going to play each other in the regular season, knowing that the only way we were going to see these two teams is if they met up in the state championship, and we got it. District rivals Carl Albert and Del City. A lot of star power on both sides. I think almost over 10 D1 commits between both teams. So I'm really excited for this one. Carl Albert, been there before, winning the last they're winning the last 2
Since I was 18.
Yeah. So I mean, they've only lost one or two in the past several years. I don't know the exact numbers, but Del City making it to the state championship for the first time since
1976.
1976. So this is a tough game for me to pick.
Chris, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can go ahead and let Chris talk about
Chris,
it.
I know you've seen both teams up close. You got a chance to watch Colorado play Guthrie. Guthrie had him on the ropes. Thought Guthrie's going to get the big upset. Then you got to watch Del City play him in the second round of playoffs, and Del City just ran all over Guthrie Blue Jays, man. I mean, it seemed like Guthrie was running in quicksand. I kind of talked about that on our last show, but I just feel like this game is, I think it's going to come down to, who don't have big plays. And I kind of put some notes to myself. I put, Carl Albert's keys to win the game is don't give up big plays, control the line of scrimmage, slow down Fields, number 1 and number 9, and get pressure on River. I think that's going to be some of the keys for Carl Albert to win, and same thing for Del City keys to win. You got to tackle X-Rob. Score in the second half. I feel like Del City doesn't score a lot of points in the second half. And I think the third thing is a low-scoring game. I don't think you want to get in a shootout with Carl Albert, especially when it comes to depth. Carl Albert, Coach Dunn and Coach Corley and Coach Johnson, you got to give those guys a lot of props. They've been there. Like I said, Don and Robert know each other real well. But, Coach Corley was the last head coach, stayed on the staff. Coach Johnson's been offensive coordinator for many, many years. He got some bags of tricks in his back pocket. I just see when you get down to coaching, I just think they might have a little bit of edge over Del City, but I know Coach Jones know a lot of his X's and O's. I sat in one of his meetings last week. The man is pretty good. I told him, I said, man, Coach, I didn't know you was that good, but, he's pretty good at what he's doing. But like I said, you've seen both teams up close. What do you see out of this game?
Well, it's number 1 versus number 2 since the very beginning of the season between these two programs, and wouldn't have it any other way. This is the game of all of them. No disrespect to Bixby and winning 10, been in 10 state championships, and Jinx, they've won it all, and Wagner's good and all, and we'll talk about that in a little. But this is the game of the entire state of Oklahoma for this week and the following week as well. I'm excited to see that. Coaches, staff know each other well. They know the dressing rooms well. They know everything about everything. And it's the star power and all that is out there. And I think in games like this, players like Braylon Adama, I think they can make the difference here. It's just so much is on Xavier Robinson and Fields. I'm talking about LaDainian here in a second. All the pressures on with River and Sperry. But then you have Braylon Adama that people aren't talking about. Man, and I think he can have a big-time game here on Saturday.
You're right, man. He's a kid that's kind of a sleeper, man. And, you look at him, he always has a smile on the face. And this is a young man that lost his position to, Rodney to come in because, Brady was ranked number 3 in the Vite magazine.
I would say he lost.
I'm just saying. He got moved. But, Coach Jones has awarded him the last few weeks to let him touch the rock. I mean, you saw the play the other day, 4th and 1. You know, he runs the wildcat. He jumps over a kid and he runs over a kid. I mean, just if you look at this man, you're like, how is he doing that? The kid might weigh 160 pounds, but when he gets an open field, he's good on defense. He'll come and hit you. He's good on special teams. He can punt return. I know he don't get a lot of the starlight because of the other guys. I think Rivers playing great ball right now, throwing the ball real good. He had a good play the other night, rolling out and hitting the tight end or receiver. I just think the other guys, this is what I see. I think the other guys, some of the other receivers are going to have to step up because,
they got comfortable watching number 9 do it.
Yes. I mean, I think they're going to have to step up. They had a couple drop balls the other day that, if it's not going to LaDainian Fields, man, that kid catches everything. He caught 1-2 guys over in his head, and he caught the ball, and you're like, wow. And Robert Allen's at the game, and he's like, looking at this kid, and he's like, I'm fixing to get in the phone right now and call Oklahoma State and say, why you hasn't offered this kid? And I don't know why nobody's offered this kid as a receiver because I think I don't care if he's at Southeast. You got to forget about that. You're getting kids from Wagner. You're getting kids from Oklahoma City schools. I don't care if he's at Southeast.
Wagner's a powerhouse.
No, I'm saying if you go watch the film, if these guys are sitting on there clicking on his huddle, you're looking at the kid. He does this week in and week out. Man, the kid is a ball player, man.
I'm saying Southeast didn't push him.
Well, I don't know. I can't speak on that.
That's all those kids. They had like 12 kids over there.
But like I said, Evans, I don't know, man. I just think I can't pick a winner here. I mean, I love both coaches. I got a great relationship with Coach Jones. I know Coach Dunn since he was 10 years old, and my brother Jerry was playing against him in Little League Baseball. I love the Dunn family. So this is a tough game for me, so I'm going to stay neutral. My daughter goes to Carl Albert. I do the Coach Jones show, so it's a tough one for me. So
this is keep it 100. No.
Well, I'm gonna have to stay neutral as well. I think I might have the play-by-play for this one for the championship.
Yes, so you got it. That's it.
All right, Kurt.
I think LaDainian Fields. When we were over at Del City, we had some time to talk to some folks over there, and we're like, LaDainian Fields is one of the best players I've watched all season long. And how he's able to, and it's just a commitment to TCU. But we were told that Mama wears purple everywhere she goes, so that might be a losing battle there. But how OU or OSU cannot even come in and at least talk to the young man, come to his home and talk to him. The Proctor kid from Owasso, he's playing very well for Ohio State. And OU and OSU is not meant for everybody. I get that, man. You like to keep the hometown kid.
Especially somebody like him.
Whether it's in the Big 12 or the SEC, LaDainian Fields is big time. I don't care if it's offense or defense. He's just an athlete. Put him wherever you want to, and he's going to excel what he does.
So I'm going to ask you this, Chris. I know you can't pick the game, but tell me some keys, that you think that Carl Albert needs to do and Del City needs to do to win the ball game also.
Here's when I look at Del City, I think River Warren has come into a perfect scenario because when he was at McGinnis, he had to make plays every time out there. He had a running back that helped him as well, but he had to be the man on every snap. Coming into the Del City system, he can now be a game manager, and he can survey the ball wherever it needs to be. It's always good to have a safety valve like LaDainian. They can throw up and let him go get it. But River is poised. He can run out and deliver those balls. So I think he is a big factor here just because when the play breaks down, he's able to find a Braylon Adama or throw it up the field. And there's some other great athletes as well. I'm leaving them off. You guys know it better than I do for sure. But and the other for Carl Albert, Xavier Robinson, he's always been the big guy. Little league, junior high, high school, and we'll see how he moves over to the Division I level. But I think for Carl Albert, what I saw, especially last week with the victory over Bishop McGinnis, is Kevin Sperry Jr. We always talk about his passing. He had 214 passing yards and 4 touchdowns, but he's able to do it with his legs when the play breaks down as well. Yes. So he's so good at getting that first down. It's not going to be flashy. He's not going to spin. He's not going to stiff arm you. But he is just enough to get away from you and get that first down. When you need 8, you get you 10, and then the playmakers that they have as well. So I'll also be interested to see who covers LaDainian defensively because it will be athlete versus athlete, and I think that's why Braylon Adama is the key factor.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's 100. Jonah, what do you think?
He basically nailed it on the head. I mean, I see more QB run with Carl Albert this week. I see Carl Albert using Del City's aggression. They'll play more small ball. All I need to know is if Del City's going to make adjustments. I've watched pretty much 90% of the game. Second half, they don't have many points, and they can't do that. They don't have the depth, as what you said. I see Carl Albert speeding it up because Carl Albert has the depth. I see them having X-Rob split out. I see them spreading the field more QB run. And that's just what I see. And you got your starting tailback playing middle linebacker. You got your top receiver playing DB. I'm just going to, out the gate, let's go. 2-minute offense, wear them down. X-Rob's not going to be seen kind of like they did the Guthrie game. Third, fourth quarter, here comes X-Rob.
Well,
They're tired. They're tired. Going to wear them down. And I see.
And that's a great point because,
Right.
Rodney Fields, I mean, you're running the ball hard, and then you're going to be tackling Xavier Robinson
Right.
in between a tackle.
Right. You got him playing middle
That's gonna be tough for
linebacker.
anybody.
And you see his stats and his yards have actually went down since he played middle linebacker. I don't know why he's had him at middle linebacker.
Well, I think it's went down because he's getting these other guys. I mean, Jones got a sterile of running backs. When you talk about Cedric Green, number 7, you talk about
But we're talking about state championship.
But I'm talking about, though, these guys can run the ball too. You're talking about Jay Miles. You're talking about Braylon Adama, and then you're not even talking about you guys.
I'm not saying carries. I'm
No,
saying his yards.
I'm just saying. I mean, I think a big factor this game that we didn't mention is number 40, Rickland Holmes, just a sophomore. You already saw him the other day.
He's college ready.
He's college ready right now. I'm wondering why these people are not. Dude, I have to give it up to
middle linebacker.
I have to give it. I would have to give it up to that Claremore. I don't know if you saw the hit, Chris, but Holmes lays this guy out, man. I didn't think the kid was going to come back, and I have to give it up to Claremore. I don't know his young man's name, but the hit he took, he got back up and finished the game. And I have to give it to Claremore. I'm going to give it to Claremore a little bit of love because they brought a lot of fans. I mean, they knew they was underdogs, but they brought some fans, and they stayed, and they cheered, and that's good to see high school football. And give it to Dell City. They brought some fans out. Saw a lot of people. Brock Zimmer's at the game. Paul Durham, guys that played at Dell City. Benny Butler was there. It's good to see some of those guys that come back and give some love to the Dell City Eagles. Sonny Choate, her husband, went to school with me, and she was a Dell City cheerleader, and she was there cheering them on. And that's good to bring that back. And I know this game, like I said, you get to call this game. This game comes next Saturday at 1 p.m. Weather permitting. Good, it's gonna be a great game. I mean, if you went to that Dell City Choctaw game, you had over 6,000 people. I think you're going to have that type of crowd there at the UCO Stadium. But I think Rickland Holmes will be a guy, number 40, keep your eye on, that it's going to make a big difference maker that people's not talking about. But the guy can run the ball, and the guy, I mean, he'll come hit you. And he's a sophomore. I'm telling you, he's ready to go play college ball right now. What do you think, Big E?
Man, it's hard to pick.
That's
back
called
to
keep it 100.
yeah,
Remember?
I know. But I think so. Here's the
Right.
my heart. I love a good underdog story. Dell City, this is new territory for them. They've been knocking on the door the past several years. They finally got here this year. My heart wants them to win, but this isn't new territory for Carl Albert. They've done this. They've been doing this for the past several years. So I mean, my heart's telling me Dell City, but my mind's telling me Carl Albert.
Right. It's one of those things that Dell City is like, we made it. We're here, and
Yeah.
Carl Albert's been here.
I think
it's the same routine, same meal, same everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
if Coach Jones can, reel the kids in and be like, hey, we got to act like we've been here before.
Right.
We get it. Like it's an exciting time. It's going to be an exciting week, but we got to lock in. We got to focus. We got to be able to come out there and show up.
So who you picking?
Wait, but another thing is Dell City hasn't been
Battle tested.
Carl Albert has with
Correct.
Guthrie. Carl Albert has was another team.
Piedmont.
When Dell City is down by 2, 3, just say 2 touchdowns or whatever, is the old Dell City gonna creep in?
I don't think so, because you got a guy like Coach like Mr. Evans said. You got a guy like River Warren that's he can manage the game, and he can also
River's
take
quiet.
over. I understand that, but at the end of the day, he was a leader at Bishop McGinnis. He don't have
Right.
to be a leader here.
Right.
He got guys that he can throw the ball to, make plays. Man, River threw a couple balls that you're like, holy cow. But
Right.
Sperry throws a pretty ball too, man. And that's the thing is that, man, like you said, who's going to cover
What
who?
scares me is Rivers running.
I mean, you don't have to run when you got four horses in the back.
Not Rivers, the one from Sperry.
Sperry, yeah, he's
fast.
He's pretty quick.
Fast.
He's
fast. I think that's what we're gonna see that we haven't seen. He hasn't ran that much this year. He did against the Guthrie game because he had to, but I see him running. They're gonna spread it out. X-Rob's gonna. I'm telling you, because I watched film. They Colby gives you a little sample of what they're gonna do. The Guthrie game, they had X-Rob spread out. Sperry ran it.
So who you picking?
I'm picking Carl Albert because of coaching, because adjustments on the fly. Carl Albert has a camp is like a small Division I football. They have 20 coaches. So you have coaches that have free mind that can see. You know how hard it is to coach defense or offense when your tunnel vision. So you got 10 other coaches that are just free. Like, okay, I see this. Let's do this. I mean, just like that Guthrie game. Everybody flows to the right, throw it to the left. The pass when they were down on they had who threw the ball?
Was
X-Rock
threw the ball
throws a little Tebow pass.
to the James kids.
Stuff like that you're not ready for. You have 20 coaches, 25 coaches, versus you got, 5 or 10 at Dale City.
I'm going to close on this note. One thing I got to say, Coach Jones, he will bring you in. He will give you a speech that your mama gave you, your daddy gave you when you're in trouble, and he going to make you want to run through a brick wall. So I give him that. He's been there for 3 years. Him and Dunn was there together. They came together after Coach Corbin left there. They both got hired there. Jones was defense coordinator. He became the head coach. Both guys in their third year. Don had a chance to win it his first year. He got beat by Collinsville. Jones, Jones has a chance to go big time. He was still 6A, small, and then he gets beat by Sand Springs. Last year he gets beat in the second round by Carl Albert. So they're both 1-1 against each other. This is all for the marbles. But, like I said, I think about Jones, like I said, he doesn't maybe have the coaching staff that Don does, but I just think Coach Jones is going to get you fired up, and those kids believe in him, man, and they believe. I mean, you got to think about it. They've been there since 1976.
It still comes down to X's and O's. I mean, you can be hyped for that first quarter, first 10 scripted plays, but at the end of the day, X's and, Jimmy's and Joe's and X and O's is going to win you the ball game.
Evans, you got anything else on this before we move on to
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you guys can break this down all day long, and there's I'm just happy to hear everything you guys are talking and breaking it down. But it'll be interesting if Dell City get past the logo on the side of a helmet.
That's it.
And if it comes down to Dell City's down 7 points with 3:30 to play in the ball game, how do they react? We don't know because they've handled everybody on their schedule, and you just can't go out to the schedule because they play who's in front of them, and that's all you can do when that schedule's made. And so they haven't been tested, but that doesn't mean they won't be. Carl Albert hadn't been tested until they played Carver, and they played Guthrie, and they overcame that despite Guthrie playing their best game the entire year. And Carl Albert probably was a little down that night in the big picture of things, but it will be a fun ball game. Two coaching staffs that you can cheer for. You'll be happy no matter who wins or loses as far as coaching staffs are concerned. No one will be surprised either way. I just hope it's a game that comes to the fourth quarter, and this game really lives up to the hype that has been built up since August.
Yeah.
So are you calling all the games this week or just calling certain ones?
Well, we're producing all the state championships, and then I try to stay on the producing side on most of them, but I think, seeing both teams and watching 5A closely, I think this will be the only game that I call.
I think that'd be good, man. I had to check it out, listen to you, man. Like I said, I'm excited about it, man. I get my popcorn and my Diet Coke Zero, and we'll be sitting on the sidelines ready to go, and I'm probably going to stay in the middle. Like I said, it's a tough deal because, I got love for both sides. My oldest daughter graduated from, Carl Albert. My youngest one goes there and plays basketball. So, like I said, I love Coach Dunn. I like Coach Johnson. I mean, he coached my daughter in track. So, Coach Farley's done a great job with, Rose. I live right on the corner from Coach Rose, so I see him riding the bike. So it's tough, but Dell City, I started doing that coaching show with Coach Jones, so I've got a chance to get to know a lot of those kids.
You're invested.
Yeah, I mean, Braylon Adama, man, is glad you brought him up. That's a kid that, we talk about.
Right?
Yeah, we talk about him a lot, man. If you ever see this young man, get a chance to talk to him, Chris, man, I'm telling you, he always has a smile on his face, man, no matter what. And just, we had him on the show earlier before the season even started, and, just the way he talked about, hey, I'm moving over to, slot receiver. But he's just a good athlete. Whoever gets him in college is going to get an outstanding player, a kid that's going to make some noise at the next level. Granted, he might not be making a lot, but in the last few weeks, he's done some big things. He had 3 touchdowns in the was it the Guthrie game? I think he had 3 touchdowns in the Guthrie game. Then, he has a big run in the Claremore game. So it just tells you, he's going to be a big factor in this game that comes up this Saturday. So good luck to both teams.
Braylon got offered by UCO as well, and UCO, man, that's the type of kid that UCO needs.
Yes.
Maybe something other comes for Braylon, but man, that's the type of that player that UCO needs because UCO trying to get going in the Division II level. Trying to get back in the playoffs, and players like that will get you there a lot quicker.
Yes, sir. You're right about that. Well, let's move on to 4A. 4A, man, I'm kind of, Blanchard's a team that's kind of came from, not to say nowhere, but I was really shocked that they beat, who they beat? They beat over, Poto, and Poto and I'm talking. So Poto and Wagner was a 1 and 2. To see Blanchard kind of knocked him off. And then beat him 26-14. So, Blanchard controlled the game the whole time. Knocking off Poto, man, the team that I thought will play Wagner for the state championship. Everybody know about Wagner's always been a good team. I don't know who to pick in that one. I think Wagner's the better team. Blanchard's been there before, but I think Wagner be the team Wagner be the team that's going to take care of the gold ball in 4A.
Yeah, Blanchard in the 4A finals for the first time since 2013. And, Blanchard, I think that non-district or their district schedule really got them ready for this run here with Tuttle there, Newcastle, I believe Bethany, the other team in that district over in 4A. But, it was I thought Poto was going to get to the championship as well, but Blanchard holds Poto to 14 points, which is obviously their lowest output all season long.
Yes.
And, it's not even close. And I thought I picked Poto to get there as well, but holding Poto to 14 points, and that just goes to show you, matchups and scheme and coaching play a big factor when you get into the final 2 weeks of the season. So Blanchard would be an interesting matchup for Wagner. Wagner continues just to dominate everybody. They gave up 7 points to Broken Bow week in the first round, 0 to Tuttle, and then 7 last week against Ada. Ada finishes with 2 losses in the year. They didn't have a really tough schedule, so I was not surprised with Wagner with all the weapons they have on offense and defense. So Wagner, number 1 team from the get-go. No surprise that they're there. A mild surprise that Blanchard is there, but not really, just because Blanchard plays in that tough district, and they have a great coaching staff as well.
Yeah, playing against Tuttle and Bethany and Newcastle. Newcastle's a team I had an early year that, with the quarterback coming back and, some of the guys they had, and I know they got a new defensive coordinator. But I thought they would be a team that'd be fighting for this, but it seemed like Blanchard was a better team on that side, of town, between all those Newcastle, Tuttle, they're all right by each other, Bridge Creek. But shout out, like I said, little love for Blanchard. I hope they can take care of business, but I think Wagner will get the win at the end of the day.
Wagner. Got the slow start, but got things. They got a wide receiver that's headed to the Vanderbilt, but really got a junior quarterback as well, and Kel Chambeau. But Alexander Shield Knight, he's a junior. He broke Malcolm Rodriguez's sack record earlier this year, and we all know about Malcolm Rodriguez. So Shield Knight, he's only a junior, by the way, but they Wagner going to its 10 state championship under Coach Condit, who is a tremendous guy. Really got to meet him last year at the championship, but he's been at Wagner since 2005, and he's got a big time program. It helps when you have an OU and the Vanderbilt on your team, and a quarterback that has played well all season long, and also last year. But this is Coach Condit's third state title in 4 years, so much like Carl Albert Bixby, been there, done that, and Wagner entered this championship game as maybe an underdog because Cushing beat him last year, but Wagner a big favorite in this championship game. But we thought Cushing was going to be a big factor for Wagner, and they were. Wagner rallied, but I like Wagner in this one.
Yes, sir. So we'll move on to 3A. 3A, you got Lincoln Christian taking on Heritage Hall. I had Lincoln Christian from the day we started the tournament, started the bracket play. I think Heritage Hall's good. I think they got some speed, great quarterback. Is that the Basie kid that's going to OU? Bass kid's going to OU, a great track runner. But I just think Lincoln Christian, I think they're just a good team overall, man. I just think that I think Heritage Hall's good. I got to see him over in that Carl Albert camp, but I think Lincoln Christian just a little bit better. I think Lincoln Christian's going to put up some big numbers. I think Heritage Hall could play with him, but I think at the very end, I think Lincoln Christian will get the win.
Yeah, I had Heritage Hall for a good part of the season as the number 1 ranked team. And then I made the switch after watching some games and playing it out. I thought Lincoln Christian just offensively is too much. And they only scored 17 points, but don't let that fool you against Perkins, because Perkins has played tremendous defense the entire season. Their only loss, but prior to that was Marlowe in overtime at home. And so Perkins was a very, very good defensive team, their first district title since 2011. So 17 points, I was kind of surprised about that, but not really, just because of the way Perkins does. Outside of that, Lincoln scores a lot of points all the time. But Heritage Hall probably has the best player on the field with Andy Bass, 244 rushing, and I think he had 4 touchdowns as well. But Heritage Hall needed a last-second field goal to take down Marlowe. Marlowe was almost going to be the private school champions there for a minute. Beat Metro Christian, beat Cassia Hall, almost beat Heritage Hall. Then they would have played Lincoln Christian in the finals. But kudos to Marlowe. What a great run they had.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, great run with Marlowe, man. Like I said, I mean, that was a great game. You look at it, 31-29, man. That's a heartbreaker as a young man, and being your senior year, losing that game. I mean, I know you got tears or just tears. You're probably still crying today. Like, what could we've done? And I know Coach is like, what could we done to change anything? And that's why I said with that, go back to that Del City Carl Albert game. Both teams coming in at 13-0. Somebody's going to end up 13-1, and somebody's going to end up 14-0. That's going to be a heartbreaker, man. If it's Carl Albert or if it's Del City, it's going to be a heartbreaker because that's a tough deal to go undefeated and you lose your last game. Your last game, especially if it's your senior year, you get beat, man.
I usually like to get a loss in the
I'd rather get that loss over the season, man, to get them tears out.
But just in general, take that loss.
And when you look at that Del City Carl, we keep coming back. It's the game of the
No, it is, man. I can't. I wish
because I'm going to recap as soon as we get off the phone with you.
Yeah, so Del City. I mean, if Del City were to win, this team will be remembered forever in Del City history. Carl Albert wins. It's like,
just another day. They're all going to go to Palms and get them
that year.
Carl Albert wins. They're going to. That's it.
Trust me, I get it. Being in Guthrie, Guthrie was never a football program until early 2000s, and so it means so much for those, Bixby, Jinx, when Altus can win one, and when Del City can win one, and Guthrie can win one. You remember those. And it's however you want to look at it. And people love those dynasties. Some people don't like those dynasties.
All right, so we'll move on to 2A. Then we might recap again. But you got Millwood taking on Kiefer. No, I'm sorry. No, Millwood's not taking on.
Millwood and Kiefer.
Kiefer.
Yep. And then you got Jones taking on Washington. You got a chance. It can be a rematch from last year, Washington. But I'll tell you right now, man. Millwood, I think they'll get the win, but I tell you right now, Jones is playing really good ball. He went up last week, gave up some points, but scored some points too. But I don't know. If Washington's tough, man, with those 2 big tight ends, man, and and Nate, like I said, they're kind of like everybody else. They've been there and they know how to win. And Jones lost a couple ball games earlier this year, and I think Jones lost to Washington earlier this year, didn't they? I think they played. Can you see that, Big E?
I'll try to get it.
Did Jones play Washington at the beginning of the season? Do you know, Evans?
I'm looking it up right now, and
they played week 2, week 3.
Jones, they played September 8th at Washington, and Washington won that game 34-8.
Yeah, so you look at a game like that, you get beat 34-8. How can you make up 20-something points, to get the win over? I mean, I know Jones is playing really good ball right now, and that game's going to be on a neutral site, this week. But I don't know, man. Washington's, they know how to win. I mean, I think that Millwood, Washington's what you're going to get a rematch. And, Millwood had the lead last year in that game, and Washington came back at the very end and stole the show. So I think you can see a rematch with Washington and Millwood. That's what I'm picking. Not towards my Jones. I got Jones on the wall up here, helmet hanging. But I think it comes down this week, and I think it's going to be Washington and Millwood again.
I saw your photo on Twitter. I had to zoom in and make sure they were all taken off properly. I saw that green, that old school Jones helmet on there, by the way.
That's an old school, man. I coach Jones. They're 6th grade. I coach their 6th grade team. They're 8th graders right now. That's a stud team with, you got Paul and Durham's little nephew, Bo.
But
Ty Durham, man, a kid. I mean, I'm trying to get him. I can do this because I don't have a son, so my boys are grown. But I'm trying to get him to go to a bigger school. But I know Jones gonna be mad at me for doing that. But the kid he's an animal, man. I'm telling you, he's just an 8th grader. Is a kid you got to keep around in the next few years. But Jones is good. They do a good job out there. I'm glad they got turf out there, kind of like Hera. But like I said, it's. I think Jones is good, but I just don't think they're good enough to beat Washington.
Just remember, small school kids make big plays on the big levels as well. So it's okay if you go to the small schools. I love small schools. So I know what you're saying. I'm just teasing you, but you mentioned the tight ends for Washington, and they got a great quarterback in Major Cantrell as well, and the coaches over there does a great job. And Washington's been there, done that. It does help that they beat Jones. You always say it's hard to beat a team twice in the same year. It's going to be really tough sledding for Jones, although they had over 530 some odd yards of offense in the victory over Tulsa Victory Christian over in Bristol last week. But Washington was tested early, and they really haven't played anybody to really give them a tough challenge over the last several weeks. But I think Washington, a big favorite there. And I think that would be everyone's kind of, Dale City, Carl Albert, everyone was kind of thinking Washington Millwood, and it was a great game last year. I think it was a 2-point contest last year in that finals game there. But the Kiefer Trojans are playing really, really good. But how about Millwood playing some great defense? Idabel's been scoring points all season long. And we always talk about the Millwood offense, but the defense holding Idabel to 7 points as they make the state semifinals again this year. But if Millwood's playing defense, they're going to be really tough because their offense is special.
Yes, that's it. They got a top player that's going to he's already committed to Oklahoma State. OU, and he just a sophomore. The young man that's going to OU.
From which school?
From Millwood.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
a basketball
Jake
player.
Nickens.
Yeah, Jay. I mean, he's a great young man, great kid too. I've got a chance to meet him in person. Real respectful young man. Like I said, he just as good on the basketball court as he is on the football field. So Millwood got some athletes though. Washington did a good job last year containing them. But as like I said, that comes down to X's and O's. Coaches put you in the right. People always think because you're fast and you're more athletic that you're going to win the ball game. That's not always true. That's the case. Star Spencer will win every year.
Bixby tells you that
every day. They don't have a bunch of great athletes running around, They just got kids in the right spot to make plays, man. And Coach Montgomery, I would say, I would have to put him up for a Coach of the Year, and I would have to put Robert Jones up for a Coach of the Year. Some of the guys is what they've done with the teams. And I know people's going to talk about, and I told Robert a couple of weeks ago, people's going to talk about, you getting transferred. Transfers come to every school, though, man. That's just how it is. I mean, you can't stop it. Everybody wants it. I mean, and it starts in college. You start listening to some of the games. And, I was listening to a game last night. This kid was at this school last year. Now he's at this school. Do I like it? No. I think that you got to have some kind of rule set that, hey, they got to sit out a game or two if they do transfer in. But why? Why? I don't know. That's a whole different subject, a whole different show. But I'm not against it because I just think that if a kid, Rivers is a totally different story. He couldn't graduate early. Southeast kids, I kind of understand them. They lose a coach, and all that talent they had at Southeast, and you couldn't win. You couldn't even get in the playoffs. That's just crazy when you have that much talent with the Fields boys, and then you have the boys who's over at the Grahams over at. Then you got a couple kids over at Choctaw. I just told you, man. You had a great coach, man. That team right there in Southeast is probably playing for a state championship. But I'm not against the transfer, but I just think there's got to be maybe sit out a game, something like that. I don't know.
I see you can sit out the team that you're supposed to be playing with. You sit out that game, but I can see that maybe. But
how do you feel?
Yeah, just recently, the LSSA sent out a survey to all the coaches about what they would like to see there, and there's always, you said it perfectly with River Warren. He was unable to graduate. He wants to get to college football. And so you make the move. Southeast kids, they're going to fight to get a playoff spot and then be done in the first round. Or you transfer and be in the position that you are now. I get that. NJ Graham from Southeast to Westmore, really good thing he showed up for Westmore because I don't know what they would have done without him this year. But then you have a kid at one school up in the Tulsa area that started at his school A, and then he went to Union, and then he went to Beggs, and now he's back at his school that he just finished up with. So sometimes life happens, and but when you start getting to football decisions, which with Kevin Sperry Jr. was a football decision. Moved from Dallas-Fort Worth to closer to Norman, OU, although Norman North would have been really closer to OU, but I chose Carl Albert like they needed more help. But those are football decisions. So what can you do? What can you not do? We'll let that play out. But it's here. It's here.
Like I said, it's so fun because it's when I played. Back in '91, we had a guy named McDonald, Danny McDonald moved in. He lived in Ohio, and he moved in and came and played with us at the Bombers. And we had a bunch of kids, when I played Mississippi, we had a bunch of, we had a lot of military kids, so it was kind of legal. So, you didn't really, see it. But, we had a kid, like I said, Danny moved in. As soon as we got beat the first round of playoffs, he moved back home. So, you really don't think about it, then you start seeing it. But it happens, though, I moved my kids from Carl Albert to Choctaw because Benny Coleman's a hell of a wrestling coach. So, my son wrestled in college. So, I see it. You're going for the coaching. You're just going for – and I told somebody this, and I'll keep it 100. I think with Dell City and Carl Albert both being in the in the finals, I think it hurts Choctaw trying to get kids from either one of those schools because why? I mean, we can stay right here in our backyard and go play for a state championship. I mean, either one of those schools are going to fall off next year. I think Choctaw have some kids come back, but they're not going to have the horses they got. Now you add Bishop McGinnis, which Bishop is always going to get kids to move in because it's a private school and you ain't got to sit out. I love Bishop. You're going to get one. You're going to get a great education, and you're going to play. You're going to get some good football coaching. I think Moses Madu does a good job. I love the back they got over there, number 7 for Bishop McGinnis. Man, the kid can go. I think he's a senior. I would love to see more of him, but I'm just telling you, man, he ran the ball really good against Carl Albert the first quarter. He looked. I mean,
They adjusted.
Yeah.
J.P. Spainer is his name. Yeah,
man.
he is a senior. I think he almost 200 yards rushing in that game. And I would just say, with all the transfers and move-ins, whatever the description you want to do, as long as the main thing is to do it the right way, move it in or whatever the process is. Just do it the right way, do it legit, and then that's the main thing.
No, and every school will do it, man. You can't take it away, man. Us as guys that do podcasts and beat writers, it's our job to talk about it and juice it up and, get it going. But at the end of the day, they got to live with it. We don't. I mean, like you said, as long as you're doing it the right way, I think it all works out fine. Like I said, I think you're going to see some kids that on both teams this come Friday, Saturday afternoon that's moved in. But it's also helped these teams. I think it helps Dell City more. I think, Carl Albert, I think they'll still be undefeated. If you had Cash Ferris playing quarterback, the kid that's going to sign with Oklahoma State and play baseball. I think Robert didn't have like an outstanding quarterback. I think his quarterback is a baseball kid. I think he would have made some plays. But, if a kid has played quarterback his whole life and gets the quarterback training, he knows what to do. If you watch both of these quarterbacks, and we haven't even talked about Sperry and River, going head-to-head, but if you watch both of these guys, man, they're very poised, man. They don't make a lot of decisions. A lot of bad decisions. I think they both might even have 3 interceptions for the whole year and thrown over 2,000 yards. That just tells you right there that, hey, they do not turn the ball over. And either team turns the ball over a lot, man. If you looked at both games last Friday night, Dell City didn't have a turnover. Then you looked at the game Friday night, Carl Albert didn't have a turnover. So, like I said, it's going to come down. I know we keep coming back to this game, and it's the game of the year, I'm going to say. But I just think that, man, you think those coaches right now, I know Coach Dunn, my daughter just went shop, basketball, had to call Andy and say, hey, man, turn the alarm off because she set the alarm off at the school. But you don't think those guys are sitting right now? I know Don went to work yesterday. I know Coach Jones has to do his Oklahoma State deal, but you don't think they're all sitting in that office right now looking at their clipboards and what we can do? I would like to be a fly on both of on the wall of both of those coaching room, man, because I'm telling you right now, you're talking about 2 teams that are so similar to each other. It's crazy.
It really is. Remember, at the beginning of the year, everyone was feeling sorry for Dell City because David Stone left, and then boom, boom, boom. You're like, oh, okay, that's okay.
Yeah. Nobody even talks about Stone no more,
No, I know.
And like I said, I guarantee he probably wish he was here. He probably wish he could leave IMG and come play this Saturday, with the Dell City Eagles. But that's what I said. Dell City got a bunch of athletes. I get to see them. Me and my brother went over there on Thanksgiving Day and did their POTD, and he got a chance to see them up close. And he's like, man, they got some good sized kids, man. Their tight end Johnson, number 8. No one talks about him. He's just a junior. He's a D1 prospect, tight end, defensive end. They got some kids that can go, man. Even though
Thomas, McAllister. There's players like McAllister that, hello.
Yeah, McAllister come hit you in the mouth, man. That's what I'm saying, man. They got some guys, man. It don't stop this year. Same thing with, and this is the thing about Carl Albert, all their skill players come back. Washington, Trene, you looking at Sperry. You lose
Haynes.
James. We're not even talking about.
Really, the only one you're losing is X-Pro.
Tristan Haynes.
Well, Tristan Haynes. We're not even talking about Jimmy Wilkerson's boy, man. He's a good-sized kid. He plays tight end. So there's a lot of good things that's going on over there at both schools, man. These teams are not going to fall off. I saw MacArthur's coach. What's his name? The big guy. I can't think of his name
Manning.
now. It was MacArthur's coach, the head coach that got the spike hair.
Maisie.
Maisie. Yeah, I saw him at the game. Got a chance to talk to him.
McAllister, yeah.
Yeah, McAllister. I mean, I got a chance to talk to him on Friday, and he's like, man, we'll be back next year. And I believe it, man. I think they were down this year. But, towns like that, they're going to get kids to come in. And like I said, Guthrie's not going to lose much. I mean, like I said, Guthrie's a team that, man, I think when you play Guthrie at home, man, you might as well chalk up a loss because it's just tough to play at the Rock, man. I love going there. I like being there, the atmosphere. I think they had the best chance to knock off Carl Albert. The second half, Carver made some adjustments and came back. But that was a great high school football game, and I think you're going to get the same type of game this Saturday. I know people's like, well, Dale City blew Guthrie out. Well, it's a different atmosphere, too, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a whole different animal.
Yeah, it's a whole different animal. But, Chris, anything else before we let you go, man? Like I said, I really appreciate having you come on and talk, man. I know I watched the show last week, and you and your what's the bald-headed guy that sits next to you? I like him. He cracks me up.
Phil.
He was like, man, he said big boy football. He was giving Dale City people a hard time, and Mr. Larry Fields, I know he's saying like, what's the score? And he said something about big boy football. I told him, I said, man, I love having Chris on the show, man. He knows his stuff, man. I mean, it's good when we get two podcasts together and we can talk high school football and talk the truth. It ain't like we're sitting here shooting BS. We're shooting the truth to everybody. Like I said, I think everybody should come out next Saturday and catch a game. If you're a Bigsby play they play Friday night, so they should make their drive back up to UCO and come check out a great high school football game.
Yeah, so Mr. Fields, he made a comment on our show Wednesday night, and the only thing I would say to Mr. Fields is keep the boys somewhere at OU or OSU. Just have the conversation. That's the only thing I have to say, Mr. Your son's good, your team's good. You can hit us with the big boy and all that. But just all I would say is try to get him to OU or OSU.
That's it. Stay home. Stay home. That's it, man.
Stay home. Yeah.
I don't know what Mike is looking.
I appreciate you guys.
Nah, we appreciate you.
I'm glad I came across your podcast. You guys do a phenomenal job, especially. You got some great schools to cover, and kind of like we do, we kind of expand out to the entire state of Oklahoma to talk about it as well. So I'm glad I came across you guys this year, and look forward to a good relationship moving forward.
No, that's all we're gonna do is keep building. I got to ask you, do you do basketball and wrestling too?
We do. We kind of took last year off as far as broadcasting is concerned, but we are picking it back up. Guthrie Wrestling has really picked up over the last couple of years. Lose a lot of wrestlers from a year ago, but we're definitely going to have wrestling basketball this year.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We'll get into a little wrestling. I know wrestling a little bit. I just did the hair media day a couple weeks ago. Then girls basketball. I think I'm gonna have Coach Smith on from Mustang head coach. She's be at Midwest City. Have her on next week and get into girls basketball. I think girls basketball is growing, not just because my daughter plays. It's just this. I think girls coverage is big time, man. A lot of people don't do it, and I think that that's the market you got to get into to start covering those young ladies because those mamas love their babies.
Trust me, the state basketball tournament, they're in state wrestling for that matter. Yeah. The mamas are the ones that are fun to watch.
Are the ones, right?
They get more fun of anything. Coach E, Big E, Jonah, anything else?
No, good.
No, I appreciate you coming on though. Always good talking.
Absolutely appreciate you guys.
Yeah, Chris, I'll find you on Saturday afternoon, sometime
Absolutely.
Saturday morning, and then we'll catch up and talk in person. Okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Have a great evening.
Thank you, guys.
All right, bye-bye. Well, folks, that's Chris Evans, the beat writer for the Guthrie, man. Love to have him on the show. He does a great job just talking to us and talking high school football, man. I mean, this guy knows his X's and O's, man. He knows these kids' names left and right. So it's always good to have somebody on that just knows just as much as us, or even more than us, because I don't get jealous. It's all about who you know and what you know. So, like I said, we got on the board who's going to claim the gold ball. As you heard,
haven't said anything.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I said I'm not picking nobody.
Let's keep it 100.
I'm not picking nobody.
I mean, like he said, my heart is Dale City.
This is it.
And it sounds like he's thinking Dale City too.
Who that?
But just the way the words and stuff he says.
Coach Chris.
Chris, right?
I think Dale City got all the firepower. Like I said,
it's just the second half adjustment.
Yeah, you got to score the second half,
Yeah,
and that's one of the things. And Robert knows that, man. I mean, we talked last night, man. We give each other hell about OU and OSU. It's a school he graduated. He gives me hell about when they win, and he sent me a deal this morning. First thing this morning, he sent me the OSU puncher ticket to the Big 12 championship. Well, guess what, Robert? You won't be there. And I told him I sold my OU ticket. You know why? So I can come support him in Dale City. So if OU would have won, I was not going to go to that game. I was going to go watch Dale City Carl Albert. So, Coach Jones, you got one fan in the stands.
He said one fan.
Big E?
Man. I guess I never really picked either, but
It's tough to pick.
it
It's
is
hard
tough.
for us to
I
pick
mean,
because
they're
It's
both
just-
really good teams. I mean, like Chris said,
If
this
he
is going to
start-
be the game of the year.
If they start out like they did against Guthrie and punch Call Auburn in the mouth,
That's my thing. Like,
I think
even if they can't, I mean, they have struggled with making adjustments in
But,
the second
you know,
half. But if they jump out to a big enough lead in the
I-
first half,
he said
I think Call Auburn is scared of Dale City.
I think
the
they are too.
fans, the football players, the coaches. Because you got athletes, like you said, you stop this dude, you got this dude. You stop this dude, you got this dude. It's just the coaching in the second half. No knock on Jones. I'm just saying that Call Auburn.
I'm gonna tell you right now, my man Birdman, all the way from Muskogee, there he is right there, got the hair down. Bird, I'm gonna give you some love, baby. He gonna go get his state championship ring. He gonna beat Stillwater. I know they picking Stillwater, but I'm gonna go with you, Bird. It's your year, it's your time. You've been there. It's time for you to fly, Bird, man. Go take care of
See how he
business.
changed the
You
subject.
changing the subject.
I know, but I had to give Bird some love before we
They
get off
could
the
have
show.
waited. We
Okay.
love, I love you
I-
too, Bird, but it
He
could
needs,
have.
he needs 10 more players. He can't do it himself.
Bird, go get it. Hold on. Bird
He
ready.
He might be ready, but
You don't think nobody else is
nobody
ready?
else is ready.
Okay. All right. I go back then. Who's gonna claim the gold ball? Who's gonna claim it, Luca?
Red or black?
All right.
He said red.
He said red.
Luca picked red. Coach Don, like I said, man, it's good to see two great coaches going at it head to head. Like I said, it's a tough game. You don't want nobody to lose the game, but somebody got to lose. Like I said, I think Coach Jones is going to be in the lab all week, even though he got a bad knee, but he's going to be in the lab all week trying to take care of business. Coach Don, man, with that staff he got, Johnson, man, you saw that play that he pulled out against Guthrie.
Right.
Everybody rolled right, and then he goes back left. There's a lot of firepower. One thing he just said that the Bishop McGinnis running back had 200 yards rushing. If you let Fields get like that on LaDamian, not LaDamian, but I mean,
I wouldn't start him at linebacker.
Well, I mean, I ain't gonna make those calls. I mean,
I'm saying me as I'm a coach.
but I'm saying I think if you let Fields, Rodney get out like that, or Braylon or Holmes, let's think about it though, man. I don't think that worries me about Carl Albert. Who's their backup running back? If X gets banged up or tapped up a little bit.
Yeah, if they go out there and lay him out, I mean, he doesn't like to get hit.
So I mean, that's the biggest thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's a toss up. It's just you'll know by the first. Using a football game, you know by the first quarter and coming out of halftime. That first drive.
Biggie, anything else? Because like I said, we'll get in. We'll recap some of the games, but we'll bring on Coach, like I said, Coach Smith with the Mustang Ladies Broncos. We'll get into girls basketball. I'll start talking about the 2029 and 2028 girls to look out for. Up and coming, middle school, high school girls.
Yeah, we got to make it till tomorrow.
Oh.
Talking about 2028, 2029.
No, I'm talking about the girls players to look out for.
As they develop and get older.
As they develop and get older, get their names out there. So we'll start doing that. Like I said, real shout out to the Carl Albert 7th grade girls sitting at 4-0, 5-0. I think they've only given up 30 points. I think they've only given up 30 points so far for the years and scored over 300. So great job with them. Keep doing it. They take on Shawnee Wolves tomorrow. But like I said, we'll get this podcast up, get it rolling, man. And like I said, good luck to Choctaw going into wrestling and basketball. Hope they can take care of business in that.
Man, their basketball team looks pretty good. They went out there to that Fred Van Vliet tournament in Illinois and beat up on some teams out in Illinois.
Who did?
Choctaw did.
When?
This past weekend.
Did they?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Choctaw's basketball team was pretty good this year.
Dale's basketball team did a pretty good job. They went out there to that
Who?
Dale 218.
They were at a tournament in Illinois as well.
Yeah, they was out there. They got
two
beat.
different tournaments, but they were both.
Yeah,
in Illinois.
they got beat. But I think they beat the number 12 team in the nation yesterday. Dayton, I think he had. I don't know how many points he had. He had a lot of points. Excuse me, he had a lot of points though.
I'm
but
excited
that kid,
to see him in OU.
Yeah, he's excited.
OU's basketball team looks
basketball
good too.
team is doing
I
really
think I'm
well.
gonna try to. I
look
think
like
I'm gonna
that.
try to go out. They're having that student only game. I think I'm gonna try to go out for that. See
That's
what
cool,
see
that's
what they're all
cool.
about.
Oh, they do that every year.
But like I said, we'll recap next week all the championships and start talking about basketball. We'll probably start cutting the shows to 2 times a month. I mean, just kind of hard to cover all the basketball. We'll get notes and then, cover shows. So we'll probably go twice a month going into basketball season. Probably won't pick back up big time until like spring getting
ball.
closer to spring ball and all that. But like I said, we like everybody to like, tweet, like the show, love the show. Like I said, I thank all the schools for letting us cover this year, all the players that we got a chance to talk to. Good luck to every young man that's going to play this up and coming week for the state championship. Like I said, next week you'll talk about 2A who's in the finals. I think it'll be Millwood and then Washington, but you never know. Jones said, "Hey, we still up there." He said he zoomed in on my old helmet. That's old school, baby. That's how we do. We do throwbacks over here. But we're gonna get out of here, Big E. Take us out.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in to another episode of Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. See you next time.
See ya.
100.